bit deeper, but at the end of my time and sharing my thoughts today as I reflect over my time in hockey and UNH. The dictionary defines the word shift like this: to transfer from one place, position, or person to another, to change or exchange. Why would anyone care about this? Why does it matter? Well, for me, this word changed my life. As most of you are aware by now, I started out at St. Lawrence University, a recruit of Paul Flanagan and Ted Wisner. I was excited to begin my hockey career and to make my mark. But before I even stepped onto the ice, there was an unfortunate shift. Coach Flanagan made a change and decided to get a program going at Syracuse University and would leave the program before I even had day one on the team. I was disappointed, but always optimistic, but I certainly gave the new coach, his replacement, an opportunity. Well, long story short, we did not see eye to eye as the coach was very clear with me that he would never have recruited a small player. I didn't care, I wanted to play. I guess I really never thought about being small. As a freshman, I was eager and ready, but always green and starry-eyed. As we traveled to our first away game to UNH, I was prepared and raring to go without a thought in my head other than, I hope I don't screw it up when I get out there. Well, the Whittemore Center proved to be magic for me as I scored my first ever collegiate goal right here in Durham. What a day, what a moment. No matter what else happened that day, I was on a high. What a feeling. Things began to shift for me a bit after that, and I had made up my mind that I would be transferring. I shifted my thoughts in my hockey career yet again. I spoke with the assistant coach, at that time Aaron Wynn, who informed me I was accepted and could transfer to the program, and once again I was filled with hope and excitement. Plus, my mother always told me there never was a saint with red hair. This is where my shift in hockey gets interesting. The program was intense, successful, and very much calculated. Of course it was. That's how you win hockey games. I had to prove myself and earn a place. The team was already formed prior to my arrival, and there were key prolific players like Kelly Patton, Michaela Long, and Courtney Burchard, to name a few. I had to shift my thinking, and I had to shift my skill set. It was so challenging and such a shock for me to learn I had to prove a lot, and even more to learn, but I love a challenge. Instead of hoping for more playtime, I began to hope and actually work toward earning a single shift. So what do you do when presented with that type of reality? My answer was to work and to work and to work. If I was going to have just one single shift, it would be my personal best, my very best. What would you do if you just got one shift? You damn well better make it count. So that brings me to a question all of you. What do you do when you get shift after shift after shift? When you play constantly and consistently? No answers? Well, the answer stays the same. You work and you work and you work, and you give your personal best, your very best. How dare any of us take that for granted? Why would you just play and lay back a bit? Inconceivably to me, how dare any of us? One shift, it can change momentum. One shift, it can allow your team to recharge. One shift, it can create opportunity. One shift got me off the bench. So if you're not taking advantage of your shift, then you're simply taking somebody else's. My first year at UNH, there was a big shift in women's hockey, and it would be UNH and Northeastern that would be recognized by playing at Frozen Fenway. That day was unforgettable, and I still can't believe that I can say I was a part of it all. Now when I look back on all of this, my life will shift once again. I'm coming down to the home stretch of my time with the blue and white, and it feels unimaginable. Some ask me, was it hard to make the change? Was it hard not to play as often? Was it hard to be a competitor who was sidelined a bit? My answer was hell yeah. You bet it was. All of it was consuming at times. There were tears and there was struggle. And then the final question always comes my way. Then why did you do it? Why stick with it? Well, I challenge you, in fact, I dare you. Make your shift memorable. Even if no one else notices or pays attention, if you find yourself on the ice or in life with just a single shift, make it count. No one wants to wish for a do-over on the ice or in life. And if you have more shifts than you know what to do with, make them count. People notice. I notice. And deep down, you know if you're not giving your best, your very best. And if you're not, as I said earlier, then you're simply taking somebody else's shift. Maybe not the person with the most talent, maybe not the person with the best record, maybe someone who has never even left the bench, but someone who wants it more, for the love of the game. Don't steal their shift, rather make them proud you're out there and their teammate. make them aware it is earned and has been deserved. Even though the season isn't over yet, when I reflect on what has happened this far, the failure, the success, I'm grateful to have had teammates who have stood by one another and will continue to do so for the remainder of the season. So now I want to take time to address my teammates. Gilly, you have a natural talent in the net, and I know that if you work hard and put the effort in the next 3 years here will be very successful for you. Jenna, you are one of the smartest players on the team, and it's evident when you are on the ice. I've never seen a freshman with such poise, and I admire you for that. P.S. Try not to get any more gum stuck in your hair. No. I'm gonna miss your family a lot. And you. You guys opened your doors for a few of us girls who couldn't go home for Thanksgiving. And I felt so blessed to be in good company that day, as evidenced when I began to cry, and you so kindly pointed out to everybody at the table. Brody. We've now been line mates for a while, and it's been so much fun playing with you, and I'm going to miss you so much next year. Cash, you have such a positive attitude, and during games, when I end up standing next to you in between shifts on the bench, you always give me a compliment, and are so encouraging, and I want you to know that you are the definition of a teammate. Jesse, Glee sucks. You may be into the weirdest TV shows, but whenever I see you starting to talk about them, I can't help but smile and laugh. You are a joy to be around. Morky, it's been fun sitting next to you in the locker room this year. While I'm not going to miss smelling your stinky skates and that weird shirt thing you wear to your equipment and probably never wash, I am going to miss coming to the locker room every day and talking/eating in between periods with you. Folks, I'm still waiting on my sweatshirt. But on a more serious note, out of you on the team, on the ice, you have progressed the most this year. In these last few games, you have really stepped it up. It's been awesome to watch you come into your own. Army, the one thing I'm going to miss you about the most is your dancing. I've never seen a white girl bust a move like you do. Giffy, we share a love for Chinese food that only few could understand. I'm going to miss you and your blankie. Deal. Whether it's talking hockey or boys, or whatever, we always have a good time, and you've always been a good friend to me. Lavoie, I'm going to miss listening to you talk or tell a story, and then halfway through, you either start mispronouncing words or just start talking in French. Chaps, what I'm going to miss about you the most is our chats on our bus trips and texting each other the lyrics of love songs. Ferris, I'm going to miss getting together to watch our weekly shows, Bachelor. But most of all, I'm going to miss walking into the locker room on game days and hearing you scream behind me. There's nothing like it. Porn. I'll never forget the time when you, Chaps, and Ferris and I went to Ferris's uncle's house on Hampton Beach, and the weather wasn't very warm that day, but we thought we didn't need to wear sunscreen. Needless to say, we all ended up sunburned, and you had the funniest tan line on your chest. Fine. It's been fun living with you this year and getting to know you better. I'm going to miss playing shake, weight, limbo with you in the kitchen. Babe, I've never seen anybody turn the volume up so high on their iPod as much as you. Please be careful. Nevertheless, I'm going to miss sitting across from you on the bus, watching you pick all the toppings off pizza that we get after games and eating them one by one. I'm also going to miss your big lion mane that you so proudly show off. But most of all, I'm going to miss that ridiculous voice of yours. You have a gift to make a quiet room full of 20-plus girls burst out in laughter and by speaking in that stupid voice. Among all that funny stuff you do, what I respect most about you is how you come to the rink each and every day and give it your all. People could learn a lot from you in that aspect. Brock, I struggled a bit my first year here, and I don't think I could have made it through without you. You came and slept over my apartment in Newmarket and stayed on an air mattress. I don't know how many friends would have done that. It's crazy to think that just a few years later, we'd be living together in the same room, and I'd be keeping you up late at night, imitating ditzy sorority girls or yelling at drunk people outside my window. Anyways, I'm going to miss you like crazy next year, and if you ever miss me, then call me maybe. Lindsay, having lived with you the past 2 years, We have definitely been through a lot together. I never would have thought we would be the only 2 seniors left here. I'm going to miss our late night talks, the occasional trips to Jade Garden, watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and simply just hanging out. And to the friends of UNH hockey, you guys sacrifice so much of your time and never stop believing in us. You show up day in and day out, no matter what the score of the game is, you stay till the very end. You all do so much, and you make so much, including tonight, happen. Whenever I walk into the rink and see one of you, it immediately puts a smile on my face. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it more than you know. And to the coaches, Jamie, your passion on the ice and for the game is so evident, and it's been nice showing up to practice every day, knowing that you are always excited to get on the ice. Jonesy, you have been there for me since the very beginning of my career here. My first year wasn't necessarily my favorite, but when I think about all the people who helped me get through it, I think of you. Coach Mack, if there is one thing I can undoubtedly say about you, it's that you know the game of hockey inside and out. I have grown so much as a player from when I first stepped onto the ice here, and I have you to thank for that. And to the athletic training staff, Aaron and Courtney, thanks for putting up with my crap and laughing at my stories. Renee, I've seen you a lot this year, and throughout the times we have spent chatting and me rambling on about my days, I have realized one thing. It's that you're more than just an athletic trainer. You're a coach, and you're a friend, and I'm thankful for all you have done for me. And to my family, the whole reason I started playing hockey was because of my older brother. I can't even imagine how annoyed he must have been when his little sister had to tag along to our neighborhood street hockey games back in the day. Well, thank you, brother, because without you, I would have never even laced up a pair of skates. And Mom, you're the one who believed in me when no one else did. You're the one who made phone call after phone call, getting me to this tryout and to that camp. When I think of the word shift, I think of so many things in my life, but when it really comes down to it, I think of you. You have changed, sacrificed, and shifted your life so much for me, and without you, I wouldn't be standing here right now. And my dad. All of those early morning and late night practices, I think of you. I will never forget my first practice ever, when I got all my equipment on at home after dinner, and you carried me to the car, and then when we got to the rink, you carried me all the way inside. And I went to go step on the ice for my first time, and I was so excited, and I forgot to take off my skate guards and fell. Nonetheless, you have carried me to so many rinks throughout the years, and no matter how many times I have fallen down in life or on the ice, you're always there to carry me forward. So I want to thank you, Mom, Dad, and brother, for making all of this possible. So looking forward to these final games left in our season, I want to leave the team with these words. Respect the game. Respect your teammates. Respect the time and the opportunity. Respect your coaches and respect the fans. And respect yourself. Wake up knowing that you're blessed and go to bed thankful for the blessing. Thank you.